Hi, sir. When we say addicted, the person has lost all his functionality. His maladaptation is severe. Like he cannot do anything productive in life. Like, it's like life in the street. When you bring up an addicted person to us, that's so very rare. He has to be pressured to ask for help. That's the last thing he would do, ask for help because of denial.
No, Lito, the thing that often comes up is, fine, we know that there are many kinds of addictions. People can be addicted to gambling, they can be addicted to food, they can be addicted to sex. It's not just drugs, or sometimes it all combines.
Yes,
An addiction to
right.
one addiction to one thing will lead you to others, and it gets tangled up. Now, Claire was saying that in many cases, the nature of the person who gets addicted is that they never actually hit bottom. Is that, in your case, was that what happened to you, for example, or?
Well, what happened to me was, it just hit me when I didn't expect it. I was at the peak of my modeling career, and my movie career was just starting, and then just out of the blues, one time somebody offered drugs, and I said, "What the hell? It's not gonna hurt. I mean, I don't think I'm the type that's gonna get addicted to it." But then when I did try, it changed everything. It became my career. You see, so from the limelight, without really planning, nobody really planned to become an addict, or nobody plans to become an alcoholic, but it does happen. And if you're not aware of it, then that's a problem. So without really realizing it, after just a few years from my modeling career, movie career, I began sleeping in the streets already. I started, I was in jail several times. I was shoplifting. I was staying with hookers. I was staying with pushers. I lived in the squatters area. I would sleep along La Rosa Boulevard. I would sleep where the jeepneys are. So many things did happen to me that others would consider rock bottom. But then again, you see, sometimes this is where you get to realize that there must be something else, because speaking from experience, all these negative things happened to me, but then, it never really occurred to me that it's about time to change. Like, kaya ko pa, something's going to happen. But unless there is an institution, a professional institution that will really take you away from that world, then chances are you will still want to live there.
This is an interesting point about the importance of a facility or an institution, because there will be some people who finally hit rock bottom and say, hey, I have to do something.
Yes.
There are other people where their families, their loved ones, or the people around them will make an intervention and say, hey, look, something has to be done.
Yes.
You have to do something. But either way, both need sort of a neutral third party who will come in and do it according to a plan. And this is what, for example, institutions like DARE and other centers do. Can you explain how this all comes together? First of all, whether the person is willing to be helped or not, whether there are family members who care and want to help or not, and of course many of the other obstacles around there. How does it all come together in the facility?
Yeah, the first thing that should take action is the parent or the family, the close members of the family. Sometimes because of their own denial, their codependency, they fail to take action. In fact, they don't want to take action.
Codependency. Now that's a clinical term, but what does it mean in ordinary?
In Tagalog, we call it kinukonsinte ng magulang. Parang bulag sila sa problema. So ang gagawin na lang, without realizing it, they're tolerating the behavior.
For example, if your
he
kids
asks money, the
just
mother
give him
would just give money and
he
he goes in the street. And it happens every day, until this thing becomes just an ordinary thing. And the guy goes on and take drugs. But when they call us, for example, when they call us, they have taken a great step already, one big step to ask for help. And then that's the time we explain that's the problem. They have to ask for professional help, because there are some families who would say, we can take care of this problem. We just let him stay in one, place, seclude him, don't make him go out. It doesn't work. It's just, you're just contributing to the problem. So you have to take the courage, have courage to acknowledge that there is a problem. It becomes easier when the family accepts that there is the problem. When there is a problem, they ask for help.
Oh, it's confronting the problem to
Yes.
begin with and recognizing it's
Also,
there.
Lito, I was wondering, as say a potential family member who might be concerned for a loved one or a friend who we think might be going over the edge, as it were.
Yes.
I believe we were talking a while ago about what kind of mechanisms might be in place. For example, most of the time, as you said, the person who is himself or herself going under addiction doesn't want to admit it and may not want to voluntarily go to a center. But then say if family members then volunteer the person to come in, what then is the framework that they might be able to use to bring that person in?
Okay, I guess after what Ms. Abba said, that the problem initially lies also with the enablers, the parents who deny, who are blind to the fact that there is a problem. And they know for a fact that there are already signs, very clear signs, that there is a problem. And the more they deny and they turn a blind eye to what the problem is, the more they're allowing their children or their loved ones to be at risk by breaking the law. Each time they give money knowingly that it's going to be used for illegal, for purchase of illegal substances, number one, you're already allowing your loved one to break the law. You're already taking big risks. Secondly is that, it's going to affect your brain. What you're taking are drugs that destroy the brain because there's no medicinal value for this. The drugs that you take were created without the welfare of the user in mind, all these illegal drugs. So bahala na kung anong kind of mixture is there as long as they profit from it. So once there is a problem, the parents have to take the courage, right? Take the courage and say, there is a problem, we have to do something about it. Initially, they will try to talk. That is the first step. Recognize, sometimes family members get together and say, hey, there is a problem with this particular person. And then we do talk to him about it. If he does agree, then well and fine. But if not, then you go to the next step.
And what is
Contact
that
there.
next step? Okay, you contact
Contact
the
there.
professionals.
There, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Because let's be clear, many families, many friends, even many individuals who want to clean up are confronted with so many fears. The first is embarrassing the family. Second is getting paginitan ng mga police or someone or something like that. Third, ruining their lives, ironically, because then they'll get a record and be stigmatized as someone who's been an addict or has an addiction. So how do you handle these? Let's just start with those three concerns: reputation, the law, and the future. How do you handle all of these when you're dealing with someone?
In there, when you ask for help, we start with detoxification, because a drug addict lacks sleep, he's thin sometimes, he's malnourished. He needs to be admitted to a psychiatric facility for detoxification. And the procedure...
Now, this is a process that is medically
start
supervised?
Yes, medically supervised, and you have the drug test there. And then there's motivation going on. He'll be, the psychiatrist or the psychologist will explain why, what's going on with his life, some kind of history, Sometimes they say, you're taking drugs for like 6 months. I'm not an addict yet, but actually you are already.
No, but let's focus on what these detox places are. First of all, it's a controlled environment.
Yes,
So first of all, there's an element of security there.
Security.
Is there an element of discretion, for example? Is it possible to be admitted in circumstances?
Confidentiality,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Our law protects the confidentiality for treatment of drug dependence. Although they require court orders, but in our law, Section 62 says that it has to, Section 60 rather, the confidentiality of treatment.
Now, let's be clear about this. The law then says that if you or your family voluntarily step into a program